Welcome to Jay and Mary's Magic Bean Show, Chapter 6. Today is a marijuana memory, the day that Jay and Mary meet David Grisman. The music that we're listening to right now was composed by David Grisman. This tune is called Dog's Rag. That evening when we met David, he played Dog's Rag, Ricochet, EMD, Pneumonia, and Thailand. Well, I plan to weave this into the story a little bit later. But right now, let's begin the journey. The journey began when I became a deadhead. I followed Jerry everywhere. I went to 1 million Grateful Dead concerts. Then, I went to JGB band concerts in Berkeley all the time. I was lucky enough to see Old and in the Way in San Anselmo. In that band was Jerry Garcia, Peter Rowan, Vassar Clements, John Kahn, and the man with the mandolin, David Grisman. Wow. I'd never seen anybody play the mandolin like that. He was driving the bus. Well, a few years later, I see in the Pink section in the San Francisco Chronicle that the David Grisman Quintet is going to play at the Keystone Korner in San Francisco. This is a premier jazz club. I'd never been to a jazz club before. I was stoked. I was so excited. So we find our way to the club and check it out. And wow, never in my life had I ever experienced acoustic music like that. I was blown out. It was spectacular. I was flabbergasted. Well, that evening they played all these tunes that I earlier mentioned: Dog's Rag, Pneumonia, EMD, and Ricochet, and Thailand. Well, when they played Thailand, Thai weed was really prevalent at the time. And I kind of put Thai weed and Thailand together and went, these cats gotta be vipers. So we were getting ready to leave at the end of the show when I see a friend of mine, Heather, that comes out from backstage. And I say, hey Heather, would you please bring this jar of weed and some doobies back to the bros backstage? And she said, you can just do it yourself. I went, really? And she said, yep. So Mary and I walked to the backstage and knocked on the door. The old dad, David Grisman, answers the door. Wow. I go, hi David, my name's Jay and this is Mary. And we're big fans, and I'd like to gift you this jar of weed and give you some doobies. David said, well then come on back and we'll smoke a couple of numbers. Wow. When I got backstage, I got to meet the band. Bill Matnick, Todd Phillips, Daryl Anger, the great and powerful Tony Rice. It was spectacular. And of course, their manager, David's personal manager, Craig Miller. Well, after a few numbers, we go, see ya, and it was nice meeting you. I was so excited. I was blown out. Well, a week later, guess what? I see Heather again in the grocery store, and she lives far away. But just by chance, I see her again, and she says, hey, guess what? David wants you to call him. And I went, really? And she said, yep. So I call up David Grisman, and he invites Mary and myself over for lasagna dinner. And the rest is history. We've had a great friendship from that moment till this day. So, my life and Mary's life changed greatly that day, and I would like to tell those stories in another chapter. But for right now, I'd like to say thank you for tuning in. I'll see you down the road. Peace. Let's listen to a little more David.